All right, wrapping up on SportsBet. This will be a lot of fun. This will be probably the best bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books all season in college football. Let's start with Friday. Bad for the books. Memphis from 14 up to 16 against UConn. The total from 72 to 76. They won 70 to 31. Riley Ferguson had 6 touchdowns midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, exactly. Anytime the favorite takes money in a single event national TV game and the over takes money in a single event national TV game, and then the favorite scores 70, that's usually a bad result for the house. Randy Edsall's changing this UConn squad into an up-tempo team upon his return to Connecticut, but it's a really awkward transition. They're not built to play that way. Anthony Miller ran free all night. 15 catches, 224 yards, and 4 touchdowns, side and total. Both very bad for the house on Friday night.
Bad beat weekend, both sides of the counter. Let's start with Central Florida and Cincinnati, side and total. Central Florida closed 15.5 and 53.5 the total. It was 51 to 23 with 4 seconds left in the third quarter. That's it. Game over. And the people got bailed out with the guys who bet under from 57.5 down to 53.5. But that is a refund. Got to go 55 minutes in most Nevada spots.
Yeah, and again, we talk about the same thing with MLB totals. Why do they have this rule? The game's obviously over the total. Why don't they just pay the overs and then not pay and keep the unders? Well, because then you have to explain it, and then it's a different situation if the game isn't over the total at the end of the third quarter. 55 minutes is the rule. 55 minutes is the way it go. Over bettors, they get their money back. That's a tough push. UCF bettors get their money back too. Yeah, equally tough for what should have been a right side winner.
New Mexico State plus 13.5 against Appalachian State. They led by 7 with 7 minutes left. 21-0 run by App State the rest of the game. Looks like they were going to take a knee. The play right before it. The kid houses it from 56 yards on a handoff.
Yeah, same story with the Florida Vanderbilt game, where the kid's supposed to get the first down and then fall down, and you run out the clock. Yeah. Well, it didn't happen. The kid got the first down. He ended up scampering 56 yards for the touchdown. That's a brutal beat. Your 13.5-point dog is leading by a touchdown with 7.5 minutes left, and you don't cover? Ouch. Dude, that's brutal.
Minnesota plus 3 in the under, which went from 48.5 down to 45. It was 17-16 Minnesota with a minute left. Purdue looks like they're going to kick the field goal, but the kid gets in on a 12-yard touchdown run, and then the pick 6 put the game over as well, 31-17 Purdue. Auburn was laying 22 against Ole Miss. They won 44-23. It was 35-3 at the half and 41-10 in the fourth. Out go the backups, in come the scrubs. 2 garbage drives, late touchdowns for Ole Miss to get the money there.
Yeah, Ole Miss kept their starters in right through the end, and they got 2 late TD drives against the Auburn backups. That's brutal. That's just brutal if you laid with Auburn. But Minnesota's every bit as bad. The under's worse. Okay, 17-16. Purdue is supposed to run down the clock and kick the game-winning field goal, win the game 19-17. Game stays under. Minnesota gets the money. They were wire-to-wire cover. Instead, they got a 12-yard touchdown run, and then Juwan Bentley with a 76-yard pick 6, 10 seconds left. That's brutal. He, too, could have fallen down, taking a knee on the field. Instead, the game goes over the total. That's a tough beat for the underbettors in that one. Let's not forget Stanford, Utah. That's another one with Utah going 95 yards, scoring 44 seconds left. Stanford D played prevent at the end, 23-20 final. Stanford ended up closing -3. They were as high as -6 early in the week. That was a bad outcome for the books, as well as a bad outcome for anyone that laid it with the Cardinal.
And you buried the lead. Stanford got a stop with a minute left on 4th down, and they called roughing the passer. Game was over. But roughing the passer, and they continue to score, keep the drive alive, and they go 95 yards. How about that? I was watching this game live. Washington was laying 28.5. It's 38-7. Final play of the game, Wilcox, the Cal coach, calls timeout to try a field goal. You kidding me? You don't think he knew the spread? Bad snap. Washington, they can't do anything with it. It goes over the guy's head. They win 38-7. Unbelievable. He was going to kick it there.
The stress level on Huskies bettors as that timeout was called and the field goal unit came on was insane. If you were watching, following on Twitter, if you were watching live, again, laying 28.5, they're down, or they're plus 28.5. They're down 31 with 2 seconds left, and the coach calls a timeout to send a field goal in. That's certainly something worth noting early in Justin Wilcox's career. He's someone who's familiar with what the point spread is. And of course, the fact that it was a bad snap and didn't go through, your heart goes through you, pound, 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 pound. Oh, I won. Yay. What a stress level. Almost bad beat for Washington Cal.
And money lines, they're not easier than point spreads. How about this? Miami of Ohio was laying 2 touchdowns at home to Bowling Green. They were down by 1. First and goal at the 1. Bad snap, shotgun. Bowling Green takes it in 93 yards the other way. They win over as high as $5 on the money line in some spots. Bowling Green wins. And UAB beat Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech was laying 12 on the road. The Louisiana Tech kicker missed 2 extra points. And in a 29-yard field goal attempt blocked on the final play, UAB wins. They already go over their win total, which was 2.5.
Yeah, and again, the Louisiana Tech, in the fourth quarter alone, Jonathan Barnes missed 2-point afters and had a 29-yard field goal attempt blocked. So not like talking 50-yarders here. We're talking 2 extra points and a blocked 29-yard field goal in the fourth quarter. How's that to lose your money line bet on? Ouch. And again, you're first and goal at the 1. You're about to cash your money line ticket, no problem. Oops. 93-yard fumble, 6 the other way. So much for that money line. Lots of bad beats on the money line side, not just on the point spread side.
All right, we have to go rapid fire here. Bad bets. Illinois from 20-point dog down to 16. Run out at Iowa, 45-16. North Carolina took money as Wimbush was out, the backup for Notre Dame. 16.5 down to 13.5, and they bet the total up from 57 to 62. Never had a chance. 33-10 Irish. Tulane Tulsa under 60.5 down to 54. Bettors steam that up because of storm warnings. Tulsa got the total, or Tulane got the total themselves. And Bielema got to be fired. What's going on? Arkansas from 1 to 3.5. Run out at South Carolina.
Sure. I mean, Arkansas, they had 3 turnovers in that ball game. South Carolina returned all 3 of those turnovers, 4 touchdowns. Doesn't end there. What about Kansas? Kansas took a ton of money this week against Texas Tech. Bet from plus 19 to plus 14.5. They lost that game 65-19. Jayhawks defense still not getting any stops. Duke, they were plus 2.5. The Duke opened as the chalk. Early money came on Virginia. All the late money back on Duke. They closed the favorite. They were as high as plus 2.5 early in the week. They lost that game wire to wire 28-21. And Oklahoma. What do we say about the Sooners? Well, they were 28-point chalk. They were bet up to 31. They lost the game outright. That total, by the way, bet down from 68.5 down to 62. All of those bad bets. Bettors got those those games wrong.
One better at the South Point had Iowa State money line, 35-1. The South Point put it up, and they lost to a third-string quarterback. That's the 7th year in a row Oklahoma's lost as a double-digit favorite. My God. Bad for the books. One of the worst, maybe, could be the worst ever. Florida opened a 7-point favorite. LSU went off the favorite. LSU got as high as 2. Some late buyback on Florida. LSU down to 1. And because of the missed extra point, LSU wins 17-16. Oh, my God. I've never seen that before. A 7-point favorite went off the dog.
Yeah, and it's obviously has something to do with the Florida injuries and suspensions. LSU took a ton of money in that contest. But when you say this is one of the worst games in history for the books, that's probably the worst game of the year. I'll tell you that much. I mean, there were some shops that really got crushed. You're talking about people that opened early and took all of that LSU money, all of which cashed. And then it got up as high as LSU -2. Guess what? There's a buyback on LSU. All of that money cashed. Money line one-way cashes. LSU in the money line cashes. This was a disastrous 1-point win for LSU for sportsbooks. Their butts are still hurting on Monday morning from what happened in this game on Saturday. Great landing for most of the bettors. Basically, if you bet this game, either won or pushed. That's never good for a national TV game for the bookmakers.
Tulane, 2.5 up to 6. Easy win as we talked about. Missouri, 14.5 down to 8.5. They lost by 6 against Kentucky. Houston, 5.5 up to 9. Beat SMU by 13. App State, the miracle cover, but also took money. 10.5 up to 13.5. They win by 14. The Cal Washington total, 56.5 down to 52. 38-7. Here was another horror show. I don't know what this was all about. Texas opened 5.5. Then there were a ton of reports on internet conjecture and Twitter stuff that Ertz, the Kansas State quarterback, was out. So the line went up to Texas 7. And then there was buyback when people found out Ertz was going to play. Back down to 5. Boom! Lands 6. Texas wins by 6 in overtime.
Yeah, much like the LSU game landing 1, the Texas-Kansas State game landing 6 was the worst possible result for the bookmakers. When it's bouncing between 5 and 7 all week, and on game day goes up to 7, back down to 5, guess what? Another scenario where it doesn't matter which side you bet. If your betting skills were optimal, you cash a ticket on Texas or Kansas State. Another really bad game for the house.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.